of the 1648 Russell.
Приїхали на
And I
перегони
think you guys
подивитися.
won the fast race today. I think the Avery may have backed off. They were running real fast the last couple of days. The 65 horsepower case and take over operation of some of the bigger engines. I know for a fact that Riley Neff and Andrew Hafner, Marielle Neff, and probably some of the other current engineers on the full-size engines learned and began operating steam engines on that little scale model. It's been an invaluable tool here at the show.
Старовинних. Дуже багато людей також на цьому дійстві.
Alice Chalmers Model B, and Mikey's been driving that around the last couple of days, pulling the barrel train that you see there. Any of the smaller kids who would like to ride on the barrel train are certainly welcome to flag Mikey down and wait until he comes to a stop, and then he'll be happy to give you a ride around the showgrounds. But the tractor's a 1948 Alice Chalmers Model B. Behind that, what's your name again? I'm Dave. Got a couple of riders right now, demonstrating how the people mover works. The tractor's a 1949 John Deere Model A, and it's being driven again today by Josiah Beck. This was, I think, one of the original engines that appeared at the Kite Farm, and eventually Don's dad, Maynard, purchased the engine, and now it is Don's engine to run 65 years of operating compound single-cylinder Advance. Behind that is the Altman-Taylor. This steam engine has been at the show for many years, but was not operational for some time because we just didn't have enough manpower. And now we do have the manpower. That's Stephanie Sowers on the steering wheel and Jeff Matthews up there operating the Altman-Taylor this year. We're certainly glad to have the Altman-Taylor running again this year, and we appreciate their efforts getting it up and going. The next steam engine coming through is the only Rumley steam engine that we have here. The only M Rumley steam engine. This is a two-cylinder 2075 Rumley. It's owned by Norm Hayes from Vernon, Colorado, and that is Philip Atwater from Denver and Spencer Hayes from Gunnison up there operating the two-cylinder 2075 Rumley. I think you guys won both of the slow races today. Yeah, congratulations. I learned yesterday that The Advance company was actually purchased by Rumley, so the compound single-cylinder Advance that went through would have actually been manufactured after that merger. But this Rumley is the old there helping Riley on the association's 1660 Nicholson Shepherd. This is a two-cylinder steam engine. Randall, were all Nicholson Shepherd's two-cylinder engines?
Один
No.
керує,
Is
один
the big one a single?
кидає вугілля.
I guess I can just look at it as it goes by. But that one's two cylinders, and the next one is two cylinders. This next steam engine coming through is also a Nicholson Shepherd. It is a 2070 Nicholson Shepherd. It is owned by the O'Neill and Smith families from around Colby, Kansas. And this engine was the dream of two men who were very active in our show for many years, Mike Smith and John O'Neill. Mike used to run the Minneapolis, and John ran the full-size Russell. But they always wanted to have an engine of their own. And several years ago, probably 20 years ago by now, the family found this engine, and it went through a long restoration. And it is just an excellent example of one of these old steam engines. Unfortunately, Mike and John have both passed away, but that's part of the extended Smith and O'Neill family up there. That's Mike's daughter, Marcy, in the bucket hat, and her daughter, Marielle, at the controls, and Hallie Sager. And I apologize, Kyle. There we go. Matt Skinner and Kyle Smith up from around Clearwater, Florida, from Central Florida, all the way up to our show to get the big 2585 Nicholson Shepherd up and running. Certainly appreciate their time and energy and effort. Behind that, Missouri. Not sure who your co-pilot is, but I'll get your name another time, I hope. And this, as I mentioned, is a return flue engine, so it looks a little bit different than most of the other engines. It has the smokestack, the return flue new humor.
Цей ще й на дровах навіть. Дрова закидають.
Next up is the Buffalo Roller. This is a 1924 model year, 12-ton Buffalo Springfield
Напевно,
roller.
перший каток.
It's now owned by the association. It was donated by Randy McDonald about 10 years ago. And that is Rex Weishoffel up there operating the 12-ton Buffalo Roller. Is that your daughter? What's her name? Lena? Lena Weishoffel is up on the Russell Highway Patrol road grader that Rex restored several years ago,
Зарівняють дорогу за собою.
helping her dad keep the road smooth.
Дуже прикольний
The
дракон.
engine is the 12-ton Buffalo Springfield roller pulling a Russell Highway Patrol road grader.
Катателі допомагає.
By Randy Payton from Solomon,
Дальше йдуть кейси.
Kansas. That is Randy up at the controls with Steve Olson helping him out. Steve, if you've been here at the show the last few days, you've seen Steve running around doing probably 24 different tasks, and his help is much appreciated. We couldn't get things done without it. But this engine, and I misspoke, the one right behind it is the 50 horsepower case. In the lineup is the other 65 horsepower case.
Наступний кейс. Є з
And
жінкиним
that's
керою.
the man himself up there at the controls. Gerald Wright. This is Gerald Wright's 65 horsepower case, and this is the engine that completed. The next steam engine coming through is the full-size 1648 Russell. We saw the 3/5 scale model earlier, and this is the engine that all the 3/5 scale measurements were taken from. The engine is now owned by the
Кожен по-своєму унікальний і цікавий. Хоч я не розбираюся в тих всіх штуках, але все рівно цікаво подивитися.
It looks like the final
знаю, як
steam
вам.
engine coming through the parade
Може вам не
today.
буде цікаве таке відео, бо англійська мова всюди. І навіть, можливо, і мене не чути.
2266
Але
Undermount apron.
цікаво подивитися щось нове. А не тільки огірок і
Maybe they'll make it all the way
огірки.
through. Myron, what's going on?
Коротше,
Once they
щось з тим
build a
трактором
little bit of steam and
сталося.
come back through.
І пішли далі новіші
In the
трактори.
meantime, let me see if I can find last year's number. There it is.
Це
No,
вже
that's not.
новіший.
They gave you number 500. It's a 1944 International I-4. It's owned by Casey Osmus from Peyton, Colorado. That's Casey and your son. Is that right? What's his name? Brayden. Brayden Osmus is